What's up, everyone? This is James from RealJazzPiano, and today I want to talk to you about a neat technique for injecting an emotional quality into a melody. It involves a specific type of octave displacement. Now, this technique has a very straightforward and mathematical basis, which you should understand, but I want to also encourage you to really listen to what I'm playing. Listen to the different examples that I play. You might even consider closing your eyes and just listening to how each example impacts you on an emotional level. Although this technique may not always work in every circumstance, I still think it's a great tool to have in your bag of tricks when it comes to creating emotionally impactful melodies. Let's check it out. All right, so we've got a few steps to look at. Number one, imagine a line that moves in a single direction. It can be an ascending line that moves up. It can be a descending line that moves down. It can be stepwise along one or more scales, which is what I'm going to focus on today, or it could also contain leaps as well. Step two, pick some point along the line where you want to introduce an emotionally heightened effect. Step three, starting at that point, do one of the following. If the line is an ascending line, move the notes down an octave. If the line is a descending line, move the notes up an octave. In other words, we're going to displace the line by an octave in the opposite direction to whatever direction the line is actually going. And if that sounds confusing, hopefully some examples will clear that up. And finally, step number four, you can increase this emotional effect by playing in a very expressive way. So, you can play with dynamics and tempo and so forth. Okay, so I want to start with some really simple examples first, just to give an overall idea of how this works, and then I want to move into some more complex examples, which I think will really help to demonstrate, how effective this technique can be. So step one says to imagine a line going in a single direction. I'm going to use this right here. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 along a C major scale. Now, step two says to pick some point along that line where I want to introduce this emotional effect. I'm going to pick the point on the note E. At that point, I want things to just kind of sort of swell up emotionally. Okay, step three says to move the line in the opposite direction by an octave of the direction that it's going at that point. So this is an ascending line, so I'm going to come down an octave. The line is going up, so I'm going to go down. I'll move the line down an octave at the E. So what used to be this is now this. So hopefully that makes sense. The line still has an overall ascending quality about it, but it's just that I jumped down an octave at that point. Now that may or may not have felt very emotionally charged to you, but just stay with me here. Let's check out one more simple example, and then we'll go to the more complex stuff. So here is another simple example. Instead of going up, let's go down. Now I'll choose where I want to use the effect. I'm going to choose the note D. So because this line is a descending line, I'm going to move up an octave, and that gives me this. Yeah. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. And now let's take a look at something a little more interesting. Check out this line. It's a nice descending line. It works over a 2-5-1 in F minor. Now, there's nothing at all wrong with that line, but I want to show you what happens when we introduce this technique at not just one point, but at every possible point in this line. I'm going to go through it one at a time. So the line is a descending line, which means we're going to be bumping it up an octave. So I'm going to start in the, I'm always going to start in the same place, but I'm going to move it up an octave first, beginning at the second note, and then the third, and so on. It'll make sense. I'm not going to say much. I just want to play through it all. Here goes. See what you think. All right, so now let's take a look at a similar example, this time using an ascending line. That's another line that works really well over a 2-5-1 in F minor. Now I'll do as I did before and apply the technique at every possible point. Now, since this is an ascending line, that means I'll be jumping down an octave. Here goes. So I know I didn't say much through all that, but hopefully you'll agree with me that there are some really nice moments there. And that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this technique comes in super handy for you in your own improvisation and/or composition. I'm going to leave you with a small request. This channel is still pretty new, and I'm still working through exactly what I'd like to do with it. I would love to hear from you. Please feel free to leave me a comment below, and/or you can send me an email at james@realjazzpiano.com. I would love to know what you think. Thanks a lot.